extended reality technologies like the virtual reality and augmented reality, providing an immersive consumer experience. But what would it mean for Africa? Prateek Suri, the CEO at Maser, spoke to CNBC Africa's Julius Bizimungu.
Metaverse is an open, shared, limitless in theory, and made up of different type of virtual worlds where anyone can participate from the different type of the world. Be it, right now people are talking about the games and other things. And one thing which comes in the mind when you hear about the word metaverse is wearing a Oculus high end and something expensive instrument and going into 3D reality. But over the time we have seen that the prices of the Oculus have also dropped down, and I believe it is a confluence of factors like COVID-19, which has led us to be more digitized. Additionally, we have some significant advancement in software and hardware. For instance, if you see the latest end of Oculus have dropped down to 80% cost. So people can buy it easily and, get a feel of it. Even I have tried myself personally playing many games by wearing Oculus, and it just gives you the immense feeling and, which cannot be done in the normal PlayStation or anything else.
What do you think are the opportunities that the Metaverse present to Africa as a continent?
There are quite opportunities. If you talk about our company Maser Group also, we are planning to launch in December Metaverse showroom of Maser for the wearable products like smartwatches, earphones, headphones, and AirPods, where a person can, just wear the Oculus and get the feel of the products remotely from any place and any part of the world, and we can deliver it, to any part of the world. So, if you talk about Metaverse, it has an advantage. And let's talk about Africa. Africa is poised to be the next hub of crypto and blockchain development as the new startup ecosystem help emerge systems more pertinent challenges. And, it turns out to be in 2022, which is sounding more of Africa rather than any other nation in terms of, tech savvy population and, the developers around the world. Before we used to hear that, India has the cheapest workforce in terms of technology. Now Africa is competing equally the same. But that has begun to change over the last few years when the blockchain is bursting into Africa's fintech technology. The adoption across the continent has accelerated too fast. And, one thing about the Metaverse is that the distributed blockchain ledger of Metaverse and the decentralized nature makes it completely fraud-proof system. And, cryptocurrencies, although have gained most attention in the blockchain sector, but aren't the only avenue that blockchain offers. And if you talk about data, today, Africa is the third fastest growing cryptocurrency market globally. Even the blockchain concept steadily attracting large investment. If you talk about the graph between 2020 and 21, it has surged to about 100%. Imagine the percentage. It's nowhere in the world, even the other high-tech nations.
I understand you have plans to invest in this specific sector in Africa. How do you plan to deploy your capital within this sector, and what are you looking at as opportunities in this sector in Africa?
Oh, if you talk about opportunities, we are already trading. We are providing our goods and services to every part of the world. But, Metaverse being, if you see, the Facebook has rebranded itself as a Meta. Everyone has been positioning itself to enter into Meta as showing the interest in the technology. So that's the reason, we entered into Metaverse, and we are launching it on December, where the customer can actually take a feel of the product without visiting the showroom. Earlier, before, the world is going to change, and this is going to take the world by the storm. And of course, with the global economy and technology changing day to day and the new user-friendly gadgets across the market shelves, it would be foolish to exclude Africa as a whole market mix. Today, we have so many opportunities in the palm of our hand, but, doing business is no longer privy, the rich and mighty. But all is sundry, all thanks to the world of technology. And this is technology, there is no stopping back. And as a leaders in business, one has to cope up with the pace of technology, which is growing leaps and bounds. And we are talking about Metaverse, blockchain, which is going to take world by the storm. Countries are moving from 4G to 5G, and, which are going to be the key enablers of it.
Prateek, just before I let you go, don't you think with the current levels of internet penetration, Africa has the lowest levels of internet penetration at the moment, isn't it a far-fetched idea for investors to prioritize investing in Metaverse at the moment?
So, this is an interesting question, and it has two views to it completely. One is a very positive view, one other is the neutral view, which I have been talking to many people across the globe. So, while there is incredible promise in adopting cutting-edge technology like blockchain, some hurdle remains. So the biggest, one point is the crucial one is connectivity. Internet penetration in Africa sits at 43%, and the broadband penetration is a dismal of 1%. Infrastructure challenges are such that the World Bank estimates it could require $100 billion over a decade to achieve a universal broadband connectivity. But then there are regulatory requirement challenges which create barriers to access and restrict, the number of people trying to make the space on the blockchain area in the Africa market and the potential uses of digital currency across the region. But at the same time, if you see, we were hearing 2 years before, blockchain and the related to cryptocurrencies that most of the part of the world were going to prohibit the use of cryptocurrencies and other things which are made up of blockchain. But then we realized, certain countries, Africa was one of the first countries to pick up, Central Africa region have made Bitcoin a legal tender after El Salvador. So, if you talk about internet penetration, yes, you can say that it is little slow, but it is achieving at a very high rate. If you talk about, growth year on year, and then, year on year, and the adoption of high technology and the tech savvy population of Africa make the continent prime candidate for blockchain technologies. That is what my view is, because what I have seen, the development cost and the work which Africans are doing, it's equally comparable to any part of the world. And in countries like Nigeria, crypto market is thriving despite a ban, and it has not affected to the population also much. And yeah, this is something people are saying about the internet penetration. But yes, metaverse could come sooner, provided building blocks like high-speed broadband internet connection, rapid pace at which the developers are creating a virtual world, and the number of companies trying to create a seat on the bandwagon. But it's a rudimentary outline for now. But many Africans companies are building metaverse already in the digital space where the people can buy and sell their products. And many places, recently we saw, an African company has launched a land in Metaverse Africa, Rare. So we are also seeing, big growth is coming in the Metaverse market. So we cannot compare the, penetration of internet. We should see how rapidly fast it's growing right now in Africa, percentage wise, year on year growth. It's massive.
That was Prateek Suri, the CEO of Maser. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Power Lunch East Africa. You are with me, Fiona Muthoni Naringwa. As always, tweet us at CNBC Africa or use the hashtag PLE410. Right after this, we have Power Lunch South Africa.